Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream of Hugo's Desk. Hope everyone can hear me. Just please confirm on the chat that you can hear me well. Ever since I had some sound issues on the last Patreon stream that I did with Ian at the VFX Notes podcast, I'm always a bit worried that maybe the sound is not good. So let me know if the sound is all good. So thank you so much for being here. I can see a lot of familiar faces on the chat. It's always lovely to spend like the afternoon with all of you. And yeah, I mean, I can't complain. It's wonderful. It's sunny outside. It's really good weather in London. And I'm here, we're going to do some showreel reviews. I have some news to share with everyone as well. And yeah, I guess it's going to be a wonderful afternoon, I'm sure. I'm glad that everyone can hear me just well. Okay, well, we have a lot to talk about today, and we have 3, maybe 4 showreels to go through. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna have a 4th one because I haven't got no one came back to me about it, so I'm not entirely sure if that's actually gonna happen, but we'll see. But without further ado, as always, I just wanted to thank BenQ for supporting this stream. Without BenQ Europe, this stream would not happen. So thank you so much for BenQ. They are the main sponsors of my channel. Also would like to thank Foundry for sponsoring the channel as well. Thank you so much, Foundry, for all the support you have given me over the last few years. And I guess starting with that, I'm just gonna do what I usually do. I'm just gonna do a few rounds of introductions in case someone maybe on the stream doesn't know me, or also so that I can kind of also share with you some of words from my sponsor as well. So with that in mind, let's just jump right in. So I'm gonna just swap this up here, and so I'm gonna just share with you some of the stuff here. So, I now realize that I have the wrong monitor, but it's not a problem. I can just share it like this. So without further ado, if you want to know a bit more about me, feel free to go to my website, hugo-guerra.com. You can check some of my work as a director, as a VFX supervisor. I have worked for over 20 years on the industry, so you can kind of check out some of my work there. Also goes without saying, you should definitely support and follow Hugo's Desk on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, please make sure you subscribe. We have a lot of content all the time, both in tutorials, and I know a lot of people are complaining that there's not enough tutorials, but they're coming, don't worry. So a lot of tutorials out there, and also, of course, the podcast. Goes without saying that we do have the VFX Notes podcast. That is something that I do with Ian Files from Before and Afters. We've now done 44 episodes. I'm representing it here. As you can see, I have my shirt, my VFX Notes t-shirt on the house here. So if you like the podcast, keep supporting the podcast. It's always so lovely to get a lot of comments from everyone. Thank you so much for all the support we get all the time. Thank you so much. Twitter as well, if you want to follow me, Hugo C. Guerra. I'm always introducing everyone here to all the streams that we're doing and everything. In fact, I just broke the news from Victor Perez that I actually am part of his book as well. I did the foreword for the book, The Color Management Handbook for Visual Effects Artists. So be sure to check that out. I'm very, very proud and very humbled as well for being invited by Victor to write on this book a foreword. So thank you so much, Victor, for that, and much love coming here from London. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. I just crossed 21,000 followers there. So if you need to ask anything, share a showreel, have some comments from the industry, just contact me there. I'm always there. I'm always in LinkedIn. I also have a Hugo's Desk school page as well, where we have our followers and also our alumni students for my online course. If you want to support the show, you can support the Patreon. Keep in mind that if you support the Patreon, you get a brand new show for free, exclusive for the Patreons. So we have a podcast, which is called the VFX Notes Podcast, VFX Notes Plus, which is exclusive for Patreons and exclusive for members on YouTube. So no one will ever be able to see it publicly. It's only for paying Patreons or for members on YouTube. So feel free to kind of join in if you want to be part of that. A word from my sponsor, of course, BenQ. They've been supporting us for a very long time. And thank you so much, BenQ, for all the lovely support that you have provided over the years. It's been wonderful to see, and wonderful also to have your support. I'm just going to do one small tweak here because apologies for this. I just had it on the wrong page here. So now I can actually go through it a bit more easily. Apologies for that. So I'm just going to basically go here and put myself on a little corner here so that you at least can see me while I'm chatting away. So keep in mind that BenQ is the main supporter of our stream. Thank you so much for the support as well, of course, as always. Keep in mind, if you have a BenQ monitor, professional monitor, you can take advantage of the wonderful promotion they have with Pantone, where you get 1 year of Pantone Premium for free if you have the monitor. And also, of course, don't forget that we have a wonderful design contest in BenQ. So BenQ is doing the BenQ Designer Monitor. So BenQ is doing a design a character with Viva Magenta. So Viva Magenta is the color of the year from Pantone, and they've decided to do this wonderful DesignVue contest. Basically, the first prize wins a monitor plus 500 euros. Second prize wins another monitor and 350 euros. And then the third prize is a monitor as well and 250 euros of price. I'm going to drop the link on the chat here if you are interested on joining. This is some really wonderful prizes that BenQ is providing to everyone here. So you still have quite a long time to do this. You have until the end of the month. So this contest is happening all the way until the end of June if you want to be part of it. So you still have a month to take part of it. So these are some wonderful prizes, as you can see, that you can win. Now, the whole thing with this is you can go through the instructions here, but it's very simple. You just need to download their monitor files here and basically insert an image into the monitor of your own creation. So the creation would be a character. You can use anything you want as long as it's a character created by you. It could be 3D, it could be a photo, it could be anything whatsoever done in Photoshop, in 3D, whatever you want, as long as it's a character using the color of the year, which is Viva Magenta. You then upload the image into your Instagram profile and, of course, add the hashtags as well. After the 30th of June, there will be you can read all the terms and conditions here as well if you want to. After the 30th of June, there are 3 judges that will vote for the 3 contestants that won. So basically, the winners, the judges is myself. I'm going to be one of the judges. Then we have Martin here and also Nimaja as judges. You can read some of their profiles here on the page as well. So keep that in mind. It's a wonderful contest that the BenQ is providing. Be sure to sign up. Be sure to read the link. I'm going to be posting this link a few times over the show so that you can kind of check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. One last thing that I just wanted to mention as well is the giveaway. So you've already seen the link on the chat. We already have 10 people that have come into the giveaway. Basically, I'm giving away for free one of my Nuke courses, absolutely for free for anyone that is interested. So be sure to join the giveaway as well. The link of the giveaway, I'm going to put it here as well. So if you want to join the giveaway, there's the link as well. So 2 links and 2 things to do already. And of course, keep in mind that if you are interested on joining my Nuke course, you can also do that by checking in the links that you can see on YouTube as well. Also, one last thing before we move on to the showreel reviews. If you are interested on buying a BenQ monitor, just contact me because I do have a special ambassador's discount for BenQ. I can offer you a 10% discount. It can be used on any European Union shop. So it can be used on the shop from France, from Italy, from Denmark, from UK, from any European Union shop, since this is a promotion from BenQ Europe. So just contact me on social media, contact me on LinkedIn, contact me on Patreon. You can always contact me on any of the social medias, and I can have a chat with you and then provide you a special code with 10% discount as well. And that, of course, is it would support the channel quite a lot, because we do get a little bit of commission for every monitor sold. So I would really appreciate if you are considering buying a monitor, maybe consider contacting me, because I am very happy to share the code with you and also chat with you my experience with all the BenQ monitors. As you know, I've been using them for a long time, and you can see them all always on my YouTube channel. As you can see here, I have 3 BenQ monitors in front of me, and I've been using them for many years for my post-production, for my visual effects, for my grading as well. So I am a huge fan of their brand, and also a huge fan using it actually in production. So it's not a lie, I'm actually using it in production for real. So yeah, that's it really. I'm gonna shut up now about this, and it's enough time of promoting everything that you just saw. Apologies, I always know that some people find it cringy or hate promotions all the time, but hey, someone has to pay the bills. And in this case, BenQ is the one paying the bills. So they are the ones supporting the stream, and they're the ones they are the reason why we are doing this stream. Both them and Foundry by supporting the channel so much. Without further ado, let's start the showreel review. So the first up is Farhad, and I have him, I'm going to just share with him the Zoom call so that we can kind of like get this show on the road and actually start the show and the reviews. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that you just watched, the links, if you need the code from BenQ, if you have a question about the giveaway, if you have a question about anything whatsoever, just message me on chat. I have the chat here open, and I can see it really big here on my screen. So if you want to. So yeah, without further ado,
recording
I'm just going to like
recording stopped.
I'm just gonna like join in here and see if Farhad is joining me. So just give me a second for him to log in and joining me on Zoom. And once he's joined in, we can get this show on the road. Okay, can you hear me? Are you joining now? I think he is. Just give it a sec. Oh yeah, here we go. Here he comes. Okay, let's see here. So, I think he's joining now. Just gonna like, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Can you hear me? I can't hear you yet, but I'm sure.
Yeah, hello.
There you go. Hey, man, how you can you? I'm sure. Can you say something, please? Just check the sound. Hello.
Oh wait, I'm hearing multiple audios. It's really weird.
You probably have to like switch off. You're hearing multiple audios. That's probably my fault. Just give me a second. So, can you hear me now fine, myself? Can you hear me good now? Hello? Hello? Oh, he's rejoining. Okay, fine. He's having some issue with the audio. Hey, this would not be a stream if it wasn't a trash bin on fire, right? We always have a trash truck on fire, so that's how we roll. Anyway, going back to this now. Can you hear me now? Are you back? I'm thinking you're back. I can see you on the stream here.
Hi, Hugo. Yeah.
Can you hear me fine now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Oh, excellent.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So are you going to, no pressure if you don't want to, but are you going to join with a webcam, or are you only going to join with audio?
Sure, with webcam, why not? Let me just activate that. It should be up now.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. So I'm going to just like put so everyone can see you. Okay, cool. Sure. You're no stranger to this stream. We've seen you before on the streams as well, and you are, of course, one of my students on my Nuke course. But yeah, thank you so much for joining today. And I guess my first thing would be, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone here? Maybe mention a little bit what you do, where you're located, and yeah, give everyone here a little introduction.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. First of all, I have to say thank you for doing these streams. It's really helpful, to progress our reel and, fix things where we need to. I'm Farhad, to everyone. I'm a compositor. I'm located in Bangladesh. I don't know if you know my country or not, but you can Google it, of course. It's on the earth. Yeah, I'm a compositor. I've been learning on my own, self-taught, totally online because we don't have this industry in my country. Neither we have this kind of productions as well in my country. So, but I'm very passionate about this. I studied graphic design, but later on got really interested about visual effects, and so I pursue it. I'm still pursuing it. It's very hard for me to find a job from this location, but I'm not giving up. I'm persisting it, and I think Hugo already reviewed my previous demo reel, and he gave me some feedbacks. And after that, I got few jobs. I worked on them. I worked on a few shows and commercials as well throughout last year. So I got some shots this year from them because the show is already released. And I got my credit on my first TV show as well, which is great. It's called Dead Ringers. You can check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. And yeah, things have been going quite good. So I just upgraded my reel again, and I want to get a feedback from Hugo, of course, and see wherever this journey gets me to.
Cool. Well, congratulations with all the journey that you have had, and congratulations on working on Dead Ringers. It's I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm a huge fan of the original film from David Cronenberg. Huge fan of the film with Jeremy Irons. So I can't wait to see both your work and also to see the show itself, because I've always been a fan of the show. It's it's sad that David Cronenberg is not involved, but in some way he is involved, because the DNA of the show, I'm sure it's heavily inspired by the original film with Jeremy Irons. So cool, man. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right. Bangladesh should be probably sometimes a struggle to maybe get remote work or to get work even in the country itself. But hopefully, with time, we will be in a better place in the future, because I do know that sometimes companies are a bit obsessed with having people more close to their offices, mainly because of the lag of the remote work. Because a lot of people think that, now we all work remotely, but it's not really like that. The biggest issue really is the lag, and if the server is too far away from the studio. So a lot of times, for example, companies here in London kind of prefer for people to be in the UK because of the lag, which is really bad, because it completely contradicts what we were trying to do, which is to work remotely, which is a shame. But I guess until the internet is not fast enough, or until we have better servers and cache servers all over the world, it's always going to become a struggle and always become a problem, So, yeah. But anyway, you've sent the show reel over. I'm gonna share my screen so that both you can see what we're going to review, and also so that everyone can see it as well. So just give me a second until I open it up here. So let's see here. So I'm going to just share my screen here real quick so that we all can see it. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it as well. Just give me a second. Desktop one. There you go. You can now see my screen. You should be able to see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it
now, the only thing I'm going to have to do is to swap my thing here so that I have, just give me a second, just have to swap. Sorry, I did a few changes to my setup, so now I have a few things in a different place, but now it should work. Okay. So now everyone can see you, and everyone can see the show reel as well. And you can see the show reel as well, can't you?
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. So without further ado, I'm just gonna leave it looping on the background until we actually go through shot by shot. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what's not shot by shot yet, because we're gonna do that in a minute, but what exactly is this show reel? Is it mostly professional work? Is it an old show reel? Is it a new show reel? Give us a little bit insight about what everyone is watching now.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if you remember. Probably you don't, because you review a lot of demo reel, of course.
I remember your show reel. I remember it very well. Don't worry. I do remember.
Yeah. So you can see I already have a few old shots because and first time I only have one personal shot in this in this reel, which I did by myself for my self study and also for the reel. all the rest of the shots are from the production. So yeah, so one show, only one show here, Daydream Gears, and the rest of them are just like from the Chinese film that I worked on, which is not well known, of course, because those are specifically for the Chinese market, and one commercial shot as well. So yeah, that pirate thing is from the commercial, and the rest of the shots are from productions.
Cool, man. Well, it goes without saying, I already told you, I think the last time you reviewed the showreel with us, was that on Twitch or was that a private session on the course? I can't remember that. Was it on Twitch?
It was on both.
Was on both. Yeah, that's right. When I was still
you were
doing
kind enough to give me half an hour to catch up with what I'm doing, and then later on it was on Twitch as well.
Exactly. By the way, for a lot of people have been asking about Twitch. I am coming back to Twitch. I know I promised this every month, but I am coming back to Twitch now. I've now been convinced by Andrew Oxton to come back to Twitch, and kind of like I was like chatting on his chat. I was chatting on his I was checking his stream, and I kind of like missed going to Twitch. So I'm gonna definitely can come back there. So don't worry. But for now, we're still on YouTube. So okay. First of all, I must say, Farhad, your showreel is really good. Like, I'm sure everyone would say the same here. Your showreel is very high quality. Your shots are really impeccable. And we've had this discussion before. I think your showreel is really good. I don't really see any problems. I think, if anything, if you are having issues getting work, it's most likely because of your location. We've had this discussion before.
Unfortunate, but
yeah, exactly. I really don't. The whole thing with this is that the shots look really good, and the few comments that we had before still, of course, apply to some of the shots. But I think the new shots that you brought in are very good. So let's just dive in and let's just talk about them all together. So let's
just want to add a little, because I really tried to fix those little things that you mentioned, but later I checked that I don't have all the data on them. So yeah, I had to like do some of the stuff from scratch, so I had to skip that.
Yeah, of course, it's always a bit like that. Don't worry. Like, I know that, because once you finish a production, it's very... I mean, people, when they're doing studyings and they're like working with personal projects, it's much easier to still have the assets with you. But when you're on a production, you don't have access to the assets. A lot of people probably don't know this, but you might be remoting a machine, and you might not even have access to the files themselves, and except through the pipeline of the company. So you will never be able to copy files with you or bring them over. It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But anyway, like starting with the first shot, which you've done here, roto, tracking, shading, lighting, rendering, deep compositing, and Nuke particles, pretty much everything really, except the acting, I guess. So I mean, I don't really...
And the rotor, yeah. Exactly. And the keying, sorry. The rough keying was done
and
by
the keying.
Studios. Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about this shot. I think the shot looks fantastic. I already told you last time when we were discussing this. Particle system, the floating things, the floating ambers flying around, on the background are great. Like the environment replacement. If anyone would see this on a first glimpse, they probably wouldn't even know that this is CG. It's very well integrated. I mean, I think, if anything, the only thing that gives me away a little bit that is CG is that normally these kind of metal bars are usually not gray, but that's a decision that the filmmaker made. Usually they're green or they're having other colors. That is the only thing that kind of like shocks me when I look at it the first time, but because I'm not used to see these kind of colors on these kind of metals. But it looks very believable. You did a fantastic job, and congratulations, because this is a really difficult key as well. Like the whole thing that you have here with cross key with blue and green. I mean, and also it's like merged with the vegetation as well. No, it's very well accomplished. I don't really, man. I'll tell you, I have nothing to say. I mean, I think the shot looks fantastic, and I think it's still a very good shot to start everything with, so that people watching
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a big compliment.
No, I think it looks fantastic. I think you did a great job. Now, this is brand new. I've never seen this one before. So tell us about what this is. After Party. What is that? Is that's from Dead Ringer? After Party is the company, right?
After Party is a company. They worked on 6 episodes. So last year I worked with them on 6 episodes for 7 months contract. It was amazing experience. They gave me remote access. So they're in New York, by the way, but
cool.
They set up their server in India and in New York
cool.
as
So
well.
you could get like a less lag when you were remoting. That's good.
Yes. But after 3 months, we had to switch to New York because we were having some have-fun issues on the Indian side. Sometimes some plugins wouldn't work. Nuke license would be gone like suddenly here and there. So bug fixing was taking a lot of time.
Did you
So
manage
ultimately
to
we
did you
switched
manage to
to
remote from New York fine? Did that work?
yes.
Ah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
That's really
So
good to know.
when that happened, I just upped my speed and paid a little bit more for my connection, and that was gone.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a really
yeah.
good advice that I would get to everyone here on the chat. I've done that in the past as well. When you don't have enough speed for internet, I would really advise you to get 2 or 3 connections if you can. If you reach the limit of a connection, for example, and you cannot have it faster, imagine that they can only provide 200 or something. You can always get a second provider from another brand, and then you can bridge the 2 connections. There's actually several softwares out there. The one I use is called Spitify, but there are several softwares out there that can merge internets. And in the past, when I was living on another place in London, not this place, but on another office, my internet was really crap, and so I had 2 connections of internet that I bound together, and then if I really needed fast connection, I would still bound my 4G connection as well. So you can bound up to 5 connections if you need to. And I have a friend of mine, for example, that lives in the middle of nowhere. He lives in middle of nowhere in Austria, and he has 3 connections as well, bounded together as well. So that's a really great way to have a faster upload and download. If that's a trick that I've learned over the years since I've been working remotely for like 8 years. So it's really good when you start doing that. Then you can of course reduce the lag a bit. Cool. So tell me a little bit about this shot then. It says projection to decompositing, screen replacement, 2D look development. It looks great. I mean, I have really nothing to say, but what was the challenges and how was it working on this shot? How was it?
Yeah, sure. The camera and the rotor was provided in-house, of course. We didn't have to touch those. We had to take care of the edges of all the foreground objects, of course. The screen replacement was a challenge. The graphic was changing multiple times, but those are not my department. Those are for the texturing department. They were handling those issues. But we had a lot of hackle with the bump size on the table mat because the table was looking too flat, and the director was asking us to add some kind of inconsistency on the top of the table. So the reflection, we added some kind of a bump texture in there. And we did multiple tweakings and multiple versions of it because the director wasn't liking the look of the bump of the table. He was like, it's not natural, it's too big, it's too small. We had to go through multiple times. And yeah, and generally hair keying, extracting those hair details, those are already like added issue for any kind of hair shots. That was the main challenge for this shot actually.
And the funny thing
and
is
it's
that
really long.
Yeah,
it's a very long shot.
Yeah, that's why you speed it up. I can see that.
Yes.
It's funny that this is very common. When I was working at the mill, we used to do this a lot, which is gray screens. So is that how you got the plate, or is it been pre-processed by someone, or was it green before?
No, it was gray.
It was
on
great.
The raw plate.
Yeah.
Afterparty was really generous to provide me the raw MOV render as well from my breakdown. So yeah, thanks to them. Cool. It was great. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this happens quite a few times. A lot of people ask me about this during shoots and everything. It's very common that these days we use gray sometimes on some productions, because gray, of course, doesn't have any spill really. Like it also has less luminance. And if you're working on a show that you're going to roto anyway, then gray is a great option because gray gives you at least the edge, and you can find the edge if you're rotoscoping and sending this to a rotoscoping company, but still you have less spill and less luminance problems. So it's actually a really good choice for some productions. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing to say about your shot. I think it looks great. I think you even did like a really good job with the reflections on the table as well, of trying to mimic what was on the screens on those reflections. Whatever was on these screens still being reflected on the table here as well. So that's really good work and very well integrated. I mean, I don't really have anything to say. The roto of the hair looks great as well. this is going to be a very recurring theme on your showreel. I don't really see many problems. It's a very professional showreel and very accomplished showreel. So it's not, and it's also production work. We've talked about this many times on my showreel reviews. When it's production work, I can't really say much because even if I find a problem on a production shot, I can't think that the shot is a problem because maybe it was client feedback, maybe it was director's feedback. There's a lot of reasons for a shot maybe not look 100% if it's in a production because maybe they rushed, maybe the budget was too small, maybe the director had too many changes, maybe they had too much feedback. There's always reasons. It's always like a bit unfair to say, oh, that shot looks bad. Because if it's a personal project, then yes, I think it should look always perfect. But if it's a production shot, without knowing the background and knowing the issues that the production might have had, it's very hard for you to kind of be judging it, you know. So whenever I look at these shots, I don't see any problems on these shots whatsoever. But if I did see them, I would probably not comment much on them because it's done. It's on the show. You know, it's been reviewed. You've had a supervisor, so it's not like it hasn't been checked. You know, it has been checked already. But I'm very, very happy and very humbled by you coming into the show because it's always nice to sometimes have very accomplished showreels as well, so that people can see what they can aspire to. You know, like which is really good. So thanks for coming in anyway. You know. So. Next shot, Farhad, we're going to go to this one I remember, and I gave you some comments. And this is the one of the shots that you cannot change anymore, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the comments I gave you last time still stand. There's still some I remember very clearly. I still remember the black points weren't correctly merged into the floor with the shadows with the connection shadows of their feet. That is really the main problem that you see right away. And then also the black point of the actual wolves as well. I think they're wolves, right? Are they wolves? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So when they're backlit, when they're against lighting, you can kind of see that their black point is always not correct as well. So it's really a black point leveling thing. But I don't think you have this issue anymore because you now do not have these kind of issues on your other shots. So this was, of course, this is an old shot, isn't it? So it's a much older shot. Yeah. So cool. Excellent. So let's just move on because we've talked about this shot already. So there's no point of us repeating ourselves. Sure. And then this shot here again for Dead Ringers again. So tell us a little bit about this. You have a skin bump there. What was the process of trying to get rid of this? Was it like a traditional 2D painting? Was it like a projection? How did you get this bump out?
It was just a simple 2D track. So because the camera was moving, she was also rotating her head a little bit. But the biggest challenge here was the light shifts. The light was constantly shifting over there, so I had to track it very carefully. And what I did is I made a hole in there actually, and just offset her skin from the top, and then did some manual painting with the tracking on the paint to make that obvious repetition of the texture a little bit different. But I painted them from the lighting source so that the light matches accurately when the light is passing by and they're also passing over her forehead skin. So when her specular is changing on the skin, the specular stays intact and as is, it should be within the footage.
Yeah. It looks great. I mean, I have really nothing to say. Looks very good, very well done. And it's a great shot. It's much. It's not as simple as everyone probably thinks. It's quite complicated, but it's really nice. Now, this shot, I'm sure I'm gonna have some problems with YouTube on this shot, but I hope not. Because, but let's not stay too long on it. But I guess like it's typical compositing of getting all of that. I guess they already had a very good shot on set, didn't I? And then you just like augmented it, didn't you?
Yes, because on the shot during the shooting, they didn't have much time to do all those, realistic texturing and other stuff. They forgot to put on the iodine that the doctors put on during the scissoring. So we had to add up those textures and also add a little bit of fat layer on the cut. So tracking this shot was the biggest challenge. Obviously, the roto was delivered by a outsourced company,
Yeah.
and we just did few tweakings here and there where we need to fix the roto. Yeah, the tracking was the biggest challenge, and coming up with the texturing look, we did multiple versions of it again. And because I never saw Scissoring before in in person, we had to depend on a lot of 2D images and shots, and it was very difficult to find the proper reference as well on the internet because Google doesn't have this kind of image, like what
Yeah.
exactly a
Yeah.
cesarean cut looks like,
Yeah.
except for
Exactly.
from the medical books and all. But I think we didn't go into the medical book. We didn't go to that extent. So our supervisor actually gave us notes. He was very patient, and he was like, "Okay, do this, do that, do this, do that," and then finally we had a look and we just copied it over to the all the shots because the series have a lot of shot like this, like a lot of b-rolls and a lot of fast cuts in between the show. So yeah.
Yeah, as you saw, I apologize that I'm not showing that shot anymore, but
Yeah, of course,
YouTube is
totally
not gonna like
understandable.
it. YouTube is probably gonna like flag that part for whatever they do. They are so sensitive these days. So I do
Yeah,
apologize that
yeah,
I've removed the shot, but people have seen it
totally.
already and they kind of know
Yeah,
what it is anyway. And I think that's it really. I don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
that's
like spend too much
understandable.
more, but I think it looks flawless and I don't really have any issues with it. Like I think they did a good job. One thing I wanted to ask you, like you've mentioned the really difficult part of trying to track it and everything. Was it done by getting just 3D to patch it in, or did you also had to like make up 2D patches as well to get it to work? How was that process?
Oh, there is no CG on this
There's no
shot.
CG. Oh,
Everything
sorry,
is
I
2D. No, no,
misunderstood.
no.
So I thought there
No, no.
was CG. Okay, okay, I see,
No, no,
I
no.
see.
Everything is 2D.
Oh
So
wow, that's very
and the
impressive.
track. Yeah, and the tracking was also put on 2D as well. So we mixed multiple types of tracking here. I did vector pass, and then at the same time, where the vector pass worked, we kept those on vector pass. Sometimes we had switched to traditional 2D, like point tracking. So it was like mixture of multiple types of tracking, and then push them. Sometimes it's just one frame, and we had to like go in and manually position it from frame to frame and check it tediously where it should be and manually add some keyframes on them. So a lot of time was spent on the tracking actually because it has to be done on 2D. The budget they didn't have the budget to do all those 3D tracking and remodeling the cut.
Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't realize that. That's even more impressive. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Okay, so now this shot here, again, Dead Ringers again. So I've noticed was really quite cool because you replaced the full actress from the shot. So they had a stand-in, I guess, during the shoot, and then they replaced her with the
Yes.
same. Because of course, if people don't know the Dead Ringer story, it's a twin. Like on the original film, it's Jeremy Irons. He plays two roles on the film because
Yeah.
it's twins, and I guess here Rachel Wells plays the two twins as well. And so, how was the process of this when you get the plate for the second Rachel? Was that a green screen shoot or did they shot it on the same location? How was that?
They had a motion control camera for this kind of shots because they had a lot of twin shot actually. I did few of them, and the rest was done by other artists, of course. This was like moderately difficult, but there are more difficult twin shot as well. You will see when you watch the show. So we had multiple plates here, and of course we got the roto from the plate. So when we added both shots, still there was a little bit of light shift happening because the bounces weren't right because one plate has more actor, other plate has less actor. So the bounce light was changing a bit, which is not visible by open eye. But when we did roto, even with adding a little bit of feather on the edge, it was really visible that, hey, yeah, you have a different plate in this corner. So we had to do a lot of manual grading to match those edges and make it look like they are actually a one plate. So all those foreground actors also in the separate plates, we rotate them and then add them back, did some edge work so that they look realistic.
I see, I see,
Um,
I see.
yeah, and this is the first time I worked with an anamorphic show. So we had a lot of challenge matching those blurs and grains as well in the with the anamorphic parameters. It was a lot of learning I did from this show as well. It was great.
Cool, cool. Oh, excellent. Well, if you got like motion control data and motion control passes, that makes your life much more easier. Although you still need to like roto and paint and do all the crossover that might happen. But I'm glad to hear that they've done that, because that is the best way to get the lighting just right. Like it's that's really good. Cool, excellent. And it was a really long shot as well, as I can see.
And I speed up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna skip this shot and just show it really once, because I don't want to be flagged by YouTube. So I'm gonna actually just leave a few seconds just watch it again. So this one does have CG, which is the blood, isn't it? How was doing that shot? How was it?
We had a match move for the belly. We had like a 2D match move we had the match move geometry. So we used the geometry for the projections to create all those textures over the stretching marks, all those blood splatters, and the iodine. And also we tracked the cord separately and then added some blood on that. It was pretty straightforward. Because we had the geometric position, it was easy, much more easier than all those 2D tricks we did on other shots.
Cool. And so tell me a little bit about this shot here. This is for Push VFX. It's called Kraken. So what type of this is another TV show, isn't it? A completely different show.
No, it's not a TV show. I saw the mistake. I actually mentioned it's a commercial. Kraken commercial. Kraken is a rum.
Cool.
So it's a rum commercial. So they make a Pirate of the Caribbean style ad, like some pirates went to the cave and the Kraken attacked them because they're taking his rum. It's pretty straightforward story. So the shot was shot on a fairly cloudy day, and I had to add rain. I did the rain in Nuke using Nuke's rain particle system, and keyed out, separated those fire, separated all these characters using different kind of keying techniques, and then adding the matte painting for the cloud, and
you had to like isolate all the fires, get the glows going as well, so it looks like, because it's supposed to be much darker, much like almost like night shot almost, isn't it, because it's so cloudy. So that's really interesting. Now, if anything, I would say is that you do have a few weird edges going on here on this show, like especially on this frame here. I can kind of see that your edges are a little bit too sharp, and they're not really like working very well to the amount of motion blur that you have on the shot. So it doesn't happen throughout the whole shot, but on some parts of the shot, you do have a few edges that are a little bit too sharp, and that would require a little bit more work and finesse to get them finished. But again, this is a real production. I don't want to misspeak, because I understand that sometimes we're against the clock on these productions and we don't have the time to finish them completely, So I don't want to misspeak on that behalf. But if you look at closely, you can kind of see that happening on the shot a few times, Cool. I'm sure you're aware of that as well. Okay, cool. So next one, this one I remember from the last reel that you had. This looks really good. This is another show, isn't it? Another TV show. Because this was also on your other...
It's a Chinese film, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a Chinese movie, mid-budget Chinese movie about a war. It's called, the translation calls Running Kid. The translation seems funny because Chinese language is very complicated, I know. So I worked on a few shots in this show. Only this shot I was able to get from my reel. The other couldn't, so I just put it in my show. When I did this when I was in China. Well, I worked on a lot of Chinese shows actually, but unfortunately, most of them are not that good to be shown in my demo. So I had to like really be picky and found one or two shots that I can actually include.
Yeah, of course. No, I completely understand that, and that happens a lot. Like we can't put everything we have on our show reels because it doesn't fit, That's the thing. You always have to be a bit more picky. But yeah, this shot looks great. Very good rotoscoping. I don't really have much to say. So congratulations on that. And then this last shot here, this is a personal project. The only thing I would say, I still like this shot very much, but the only thing I would say that I think is that at this stage on your career, I'm assuming you don't need personal shots on your show reel anymore. So maybe consider at some point taking this out and keeping only production shots, because I don't think you need that. You have enough production shots to fill your showreel. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, makes
maybe,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe keep that in mind, because
sure.
yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, I mean, I'm gonna just I don't really have much else to say. So I guess, what's your next step now? I'm guessing you're looking for work right now. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, currently I'm looking for work, because as I can see, the world has moving forward from the COVID stuff, and yeah, things are going to on-site situation as well. I think it's going to be even more difficult for me to find a remote job right now, but I'm hopeful because I have even better showreel than before. So yeah, I'm just keep applying on every post I get on LinkedIn and other job posts as well. So yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see where this takes me.
Cool. Well, I'm sure. I
Yeah,
wish you best of luck. I've stopped sharing my screen, of course, because we've done the showreel now.
yeah.
But I guess don't give up. Your showreel is really high quality, and oh, what is this sound? Sorry. Well, I wouldn't say that. Please don't give up. Your showreel is very high quality. I know it's really easy to just say that, and of course it's difficult to find work these days because of all these issues with remote work and everything. And there's a lot of competition as well. That's the problem as well. There's a lot of people out there applying. But don't give up. And if anything, I would just advise you to send it to as many companies as you can. Like, just try to, if you send it to 50 companies, try 100. If you send it to 100, try 200. Really multiply your chances by sending it to hundreds and hundreds of companies, because my idea of everything, really, and this applies to applications of jobs, it applies to live streams, it applies to YouTube views, it applies to everything. Usually there is always a sweet spot of 10% of something. So if you send it to 100 places, you're probably only gonna get heard from 10 of them from the 100. So if you send it to hundreds and hundreds of them, then your chances of getting some kind of reply will multiply. And I think you should just open up the door to other countries around you, to more countries in Europe. Try to send it to Germany, try to send it to Canada, try to send it as many places as you can. Doesn't necessarily need to be like big companies. Send it to medium level studios, like just there's quite a lot of lists online of really big studios and really small and medium studios. Just start plowing through them and see if they have open jobs applications. And even if they don't have job applications, just send it anyway. That would be my advice. Don't give up, because you are very talented, and I really want you to get a job. I really would love for you to get work and to continue and to thrive and to be even better. Oh, I stopped hearing you. Yeah, I can't hear you anymore. Wait a minute. You're muted now. I think for some reason you're muted. Yeah, we stopped. We don't hear you anymore. Why is that? I don't know why we can't hear you. Maybe try to switch on and off your mic and see if you can get it to work again. Yeah, I can't hear you. I think there was like a static sound that we've just heard, and then you were gone. So I think that was probably it. So maybe leave the call and join again. We can try to do that. In the meantime, I'll put my garbage truck on fire as an homage to this moment, where we have some problems happening. It's always like that. Hey, this would not be a Hugo's Desk show without some kind of technical issue. So, while Farhad is joining us again, just give it a second, because he's going to join us soon. And then we can try him again, see if we can hear him. Hello? Yeah, we can't hear you still. We've heard like some static noises, and then it just goes away. I think your microphone is either dying or your microphone is with the wrong settings or something. See if you can... we still can't hear you. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Don't worry. We can do this. We can... I'm gonna do a break anyway. So let's do a break, and then you can come back to just say hello and maybe restart your machine or something. I'm gonna do a 10-minute break like I usually do. So come back and then we'll say goodbyes, and we'll say a few words. Maybe try to restart your machine and see if that works. And so I'll see you very soon, okay? Cool. I'm gonna go back to my stream alone. And cool, he's there. He's leaving as well. So, well, thank you so much, and I apologize for the little technical glitches that we had there. Don't worry about it. Farhad will come back. So, in the meantime, before we do a break, as you know, we always do a responsible stream, and we do breaks every hour on the hour, and we do breaks for 10 minutes. So, if you would like to join the BenQ design contest, for the chance of winning one of the 3 monitors and cash prizes, join this link that I'm posting on the chat right now. Keep in mind that I'm one of the judges, so please feel free to join. You have still a month to join that fantastic contest for the chance of winning a monitor and some cash as well. Also, if you want to get the chance to win one of my Nuke courses, there's the link there on the chat as well for the giveaway that I'm going to be doing at the end of the stream. So we're going to do a break now for 10 minutes. Then when we come back from the break, we're going to join Farhad and just have closing comments from him. And then that's it, really. So I'll see you all very soon. I'm going to put a timer for 10 minutes. Hope you can stretch your legs, go and drink some water, relax for a minute, and maybe if it's sunny, go outside for a minute and come back. And I'll see you all in about 10 minutes, okay? I'll see you all very soon. Okay, I am back. Thank you so much for everyone that is still here. Thank you so much. It's always great to have you all here live. So I'm going to just really quickly, before we bring in Farhad and finish and wrap up our conversation, there's a few people here making some questions, so I just wanted to answer a few of them. So first of all, me, Hugh, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce your name. So sorry if I do that, but Min Hugh Nigoin, I think that's your name. He says, they say, I mean, I'm a graphic designer student and I'm considering to take part to study Nuke. So should I do it? I think so. I think Nuke is a great software to learn. It's really gives you like a lot of insight into compositing. I must say that ever since I started using Nuke, I became a much better composer for other softwares as well. So Nuke really taught me to be a much better composer, you know, even using After Effects and DaVinci and Resolve and Fusion. It just gives you, it's so deep that it gives you a different type of knowledge, really, to be honest. Even Photoshop, like I feel like I'm better at Photoshop because I've learned Nuke. So I think you should go for it. There's a lot of really cool tutorials out there. You can check out my website. I have quite a lot of things on my YouTube channel that you can watch for free. If you want to go deeper, I have a Nuke course as well. You know, like go there as well if you want to. But yeah, I would really recommend you to check it out. Before I join in Farhad again, just wanted to mention that you should check out Before and Afters magazine. This is the latest issue from my dear friend Ian Fales at Before and Afters. This is a wonderful magazine. This month is basically showcasing AI tools and everything. It has a lot of really good stuff from Avatar and from machine learning and RenderMan and Copycat and all the things. So check out Before and Afters. And just wanted to announce to you that I'm gonna just cover it, but there is a discount inside this magazine. secret. I'm gonna club because there's a QR code here. That's why I'm covering it. So inside this magazine, there's a 50% discount for my Nuke course. So if you buy the magazine, if you buy the Before and Afters magazine, you can have access to a 50% discount for the new course. So instead of paying £250, you pay 125. So just a little secret for everyone to know. I'm not going to show the QR code here, of course, because otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, just make sure you check out Before and Afters magazine at Amazon. It really is for sale on Amazon, on pretty much every Amazon in the world. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Farhad again and see if this goes well here. I hope so. I really hope so. I hope we can hear him again because I really wanted to have his last thoughts and everything. So I'm going to start the call here with him and see if we can get him to join. Let's see here.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm joining now. Let's see here. Joining now. See if he shows up now, and maybe that I can bring him over, see if we can hear him now. Hello?
Yeah, hi Hugo.
Oh, we can hear you. Perfect. Excellent.
Great.
Excellent. So we can't. Yeah, there you go. We can hear you, and we can see you as well. So yeah, I guess we were gonna wrap up anyway, but you were gonna say so. Like I said, you know, thank you so much for joining the showreel.
Yep.
Before the break, everyone, if someone is new here on the stream, we reviewed Farhad's amazing showreel. Everyone can go and rewatch it because on the same link, you can always watch it as a VOD. So in fact, even while watching this live stream, you can go backwards if you want to during the live stream and actually rewatch the section on the back. So you can go and watch his wonderful work. But yeah, I guess we were just like going to wrap up, wasn't it? So you were in the middle of something, and why don't you let's wrap up then?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Hugo, for doing this kind of podcast. I mean, this is really, really helpful for all the aspiring visual effects artists there who wants to know where they are in their career stage or learning stage. So fantastic. Thank you so much. Because you did this online course, I had access to so much knowledge despite being in Bangladesh. I don't want to, look into my country so literally because it's not the country's fault that they don't have this industry. I chose this profession. So the key is consistency. Anyone who is there, who wants to start, wherever you are, even though you don't have the industry there, if you're really passionate about it, please be consistent with your learning and with looking for works, and also do some commercial work in your local industry as well if you want to really skill up your stuff, because working in the environment and in the pressure, in the production pressure and delivering it, even though it's a local commercial work, it will help you how things goes on, so that when you really dive into the big sea, you don't drown. Yeah, just wanted to inspire some people, and because I've been doing the same thing, I know it's hard, but it's not impossible. So yeah, I'll be consistent. Hopefully, I'll see you in another year with another demo role.
Yeah, and I wish all the best of luck. I hope you can get a job real soon. And remember what I said. Like, send it to hundreds of places. Think big. Think big.
Will do.
Doesn't matter.
Will
Send
do.
it to every place. Might as well send it to every place. The maximum you're gonna get is a no, you know. So
exactly. They're not gonna kill me.
No, exactly.
Why
No. If anything, they will all like look at back and it's like, oh, who is this guy? He keeps sending his show reels all the time, which is good. It's a good place to be if that happens, you know. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining again. Thank you so much for all the support and all the love you always give me to my streams, and also to all the stuff that we do here on Hugo's Desk. And thank you so much for being a student as well. I really appreciate it. And I guess, you know, best of luck, and have a nice time, man.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Thank you,
See you
everyone.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, cool. That's awesome. And let's just continue here with the stream then. So we're gonna jump in. As you saw in the links, I left the links already on the chat. You have the link for my giveaway for the free Nuke course, which I will be doing at the end of the stream. And also, if you want, you can join the BenQ contest, the Viva Magenta contest that they're doing right now, which I'm a judge as well, and you get the chance of winning a monitor and also getting some cash prize. And if you are considering buying a BenQ monitor, just like I do here, as you can see, hello, you know, if you consider buying a BenQ monitor, feel free to reach out in social media, or reach out by email, or reach out on Discord, any place you would like. I am very happy to give you a 10% discount to use on any of the European shops of BenQ, and that will, of course, provide you a 10% discount for the BenQ monitor. And also, of course, you will support my channel, because BenQ will be happy by that, and they will continue supporting my channel as well. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's continue then over. Next up, I have, let's open up my notes here. Who's next? Next is Robin. So let's just contact Robin here real quick. So are you ready, my friends? Let's just see if he's ready here. I'm going to basically copy the thing here for him. And okay, just give me a second. I'm just like sending him the Zoom link call. Okay, cool. He says he's super ready. Look at that. That's great. So let's just see how super ready is he.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
It's so annoying, the Zoom sound that they keep saying, recording ready, recording ready. It's like, okay. Let's see if he shows up here. Let's see. So, hello there. Are you there, Robin? Let's see if he's here. Hello. I think he's gonna come in at some moment. In the meantime, don't forget, if you have questions, be sure to ask them on the chat. I will get to them. So, of course, you know, just be persistent. If you have a question, you could always repeat your question. Don't worry. It's always fine to do that. Okay, I can see you, Robin.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I can hear you as well.
Hello.
Let me just put you up on screen. So, hi, Robin. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Hugo.
Not a
pleasure to be here.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Finally joining the stream and not just looking at it. It's exciting.
Well, I am very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining, and also thank you so much for submitting the showreel for review. And I guess, like always, like the first thing I will gonna ask for you to tell our lovely folks watching here, both the people watching live now, but also everyone that is gonna watch this in VOD later on. Mm-hmm. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell all these lovely folks where you're from, what do you do, and what's up with you? Tell us a little bit about a bio.
Yeah. So my name is Robin. I'm originally from Sweden, Stockholm, living in Amsterdam at the moment. Been doing that for almost a year now, working remotely. I mean, fun enough with mostly us Swedish clients. So remotely works. I am a motion designer mainly, and also getting into VFX compositing through, originally through your course. What is it now? 2 years ago almost.
Cool.
But I've been going quite hard at it. And answer to Min, I think, who asked before if it's compositing is a good thing for a designer or a motion designer. I think it definitely is. I had tons of fun and tons of use for it.
Cool.
Apart from that, I also am an avid board gamer and develop my own board game on the side as a passion project.
Oh, cool! Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, you make sure to share the link on the chat, and so we can check out your board games as well. We would love to check that out. Feel free to post it on the chat. Everyone, I'm sure there's always a lot of people love board games as well. So cool.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
Well, Robin, I'm gonna share my screen so that everyone, both you and also everyone, can see your showreel. I already have it looping here, so I'm gonna just start this here. So just give me a second here because I need to it's always I've did some changes on my thing here, and now I'm having some issues with. There you go. So now I have it here, and I'm just gonna need to bring you over. I need to rearrange the way that I'm posting stuff, but that's fine.
Oh yeah.
So so now people can see you and they can see the showreel as well. The showreel has been looping here on the background. So why don't you I guess first thing first, you already mentioned that little bit that you have a very strong motion graphic background. So what's this showreel that we're watching here? Is this the showreel that you are? Is this the most recent showreel? Is it a bit older? What's going on here? Is it this mostly production work? What's going on here?
Yeah, so this is the most recent showreel. I think I finished it in around May this year, or March, sorry. And it's mostly production shots. I don't think I have any private work in it, but it's a range of small projects to bigger projects, and also it's a bit of mix, just motion design stuff and also some compositing stuff. And yeah, the previous participant, he set the bar high, I would say. So it will be interesting to dissect this and go through and see what you have to say.
Don't be like that. It's fine. It's always like that. People are in different levels of their careers, and they're in different levels of their learning curve and what do I say usually? Their voyage, their path is always in a different place, So I think
100%.
I think your showreel is great, and I think it's gonna be quite nice to go through it. Well, I guess let's dive in right in. First thing I would say is that I really like your intro graphics and everything with your name and it's very nice. It's very 80s. It's really, really cool, the motion graphic piece. I'm usually not very into having a nice intro and outro for motion for showreels, but it's a different fact. If you are a motion designer, you definitely want to do something cool, because if you're just a compositor, then it's usually not a good idea because you just want to go to bare bones compositing. But since you are a motion designer, I actually really appreciate that you have a really nice intro and some really nice graphics going on there, so that's really cool. Anyway,
cheers.
Jump into the first shot. So tell us a little bit about, since there's no information on screen about it, so tell us a little bit about what's going on in this shot here with this dude with the cars. What's this?
Yeah, so this is for the game Valorant, a trailer that I took part in, and I did some compositing for a couple of shots. Worked with one of the agencies I work with a lot, a really talented agency called Smash, also based in Sweden, and they did the 3D for this shot. And so it's basically the main thing for me was to assemble all the light passes and then do mainly the grading of it, and then go in to like there were a lot of glitches or some glitches on it because a quite tight deadline. So it was a lot of cryptomating and grading on this one.
Okay, I see. And so were you involved just on the comp, or did you also work on the CG?
No, just on the comp for this one.
Okay, cool. People actually, Melinda here is asking on the chat, is the intro also done in Nuke, or is that like After Effects, the actual title that you've made for the showreel?
I would love to say it's Nuke, but it's After Effects. Sorry.
No, it's not a problem at all. It's not a problem at all. That's very normal, very typical. Like that happens all the time. So it's not a problem at all.
It's a red giant thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's not a problem at all. I'm gonna just like lower the sound here a little bit because I think you're coming in too hot. I'm just gonna do that. No, that's fine. I already adjusted it here. So now it should be fine. Okay, cool. So I actually think the first shot looks great in terms of a look development, and I think it's not really like a photoreal shot, but I don't think that's the point whatsoever. It's a really nice stylized shot. It looks really pretty. The colors are really nice. You've done a really nice work with the fog and atmospherics. So I like this shot a lot. I mean, it's always tricky to strike a good balance between stylized and realistic, and I think you did a really good job. And I'm assuming your clients were very happy, were they?
Yeah. This turned out quite great actually. Cool. The whole thing. It was fun doing.
Cool. I'm very glad to hear that. And I think it looks great. So
thanks.
Tell us a little bit about this dude that is on the intro on the foreground here. Is that also part of CG, or is it like some kind of plate that was shot on the film?
That's CG? Actually fully CG. The whole
thing is full CG. Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you separated the layers and to some of it, or did you get provided a full CG already as it was and just use cryptomats and fogs to adjust it, or did you had like foreground, middle layer, and background? How was that structured?
It was actually the dude is separated from the background. And then composite it back together, but it required some cryptomating, getting all the tuning nice.
So I'm assuming that you started in After Effects, right? Is that your background?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was just talking about that on the stream just before you came in. I personally, I also started in After Effects in the very beginning. I was an After Effects artist for like almost 10 years before I started using Nuke, and I kind of feel like when I go back now to After Effects, I know After Effects so much better because I kind of like went through Nuke. Do you feel like your After Effects knowledge has actually grown a little bit by going a bit deeper in Nuke as well? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. I thought, going into Nuke, I thought I was gonna kind of disregard After Effects completely, basically, and just I'll use it for some motion graphics and some interface stuff that I could throw into Nuke. But I've been using it almost at the same pace, and my my understanding of it has definitely increased, especially in the compositing part.
Yeah.
So for like smaller projects, I can composite that in After Effects, but because of Nuke, I would say I do it way better. So I think they tie really well into each other. Yeah,
I feel exactly the same. I feel really exactly the same. I kind of felt like exactly the same thing. I also like when I switched to Shake and to Fusion, then to Nuke, I kind of thought that I would never touch After Effects. But I keep saying this to everyone, like it's really good to have an agnostic approach to these kind of things, because all these softwares have a lot of good strengths. Some things are much faster in After Effects to be done. Some things are much faster in Nuke, and it's really really beneficial for you to act. If you are taking seriously to be a compositor, it's very beneficial for you to actually know Nuke and After Effects and DaVinci and have like a bit of a range between all these applications, because all together they're super powerful if you know all of them.
Definitely, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, cool. So let's move on to the next one. So this one here, tell us a little bit about this one, the one with the statues and the flashes.
Oh yeah, so this ties into to the other shot as well from the same project, Valorant. and then so basically put together in the same way with just I got a lot of light passes, and then it was for me to kind of tweak the lighting and the flashes.
When you mentioned it was Valor, is this like part of a trailer or an ad to the game, or is it actually in the game?
Oh no, yeah. So it's a trailer for the game.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. That's awesome. It looks great. Again, I think you did a great. You have a really good sense of lighting and a really good sense of like composition and color, and it looks really nice. Like the way that the particles are floating and the light. It's not a photoreal thing at all, but again, like I said, like I don't think that was the objective, but it just looks really beautiful and looks really like stylized and really pretty. So they look great, man. I think this is really well done. Really good work.
Yeah. I had a great help from creative director as well. Cool. That I worked closely with. That did not to take all the credit. He did a lot of the previous ones on the statues. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah, of course.
It was fun, close collaboration to develop like the style together.
Cool. Well, that's always the best way to work, really, is to have like a strong collaboration and kind of brainstorm and everything. That's great. That's really good to hear. Okay, so let's move on to the first shot here. So is this before that? So this shot here with these this logo kind of like thing disintegrating, is that still from the same trailer as well?
Yeah, exactly. This one, although I haven't had that much to do with. It was more to like solidify the icon of and the brand of Valorant.
Okay. Cool.
So more of like a brag shot, but yes, that's why a super small tidbit of it.
Yeah, but it looks good. It looks cool to be here in the second. Now this shot here with what's going on here on this shot, because this obviously is another project with the computer, the really strange computer and like some kind of 3D printer, I think that is going on here or something. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
So this is for I helped the agency I work closely with. That's called Smash. That's on the logo. It's for their website. And they wanted some motion graphics for a printer they have on the website. So you could actually go into the website and then click around, and then this icon will be 3D printed on the website.
Oh, I see.
So I think it's a WebGL based, and it's a bit just to show that I can do stuff for web as well.
Okay, I see. So your showreel is really not really a compositing showreel. It's more like a mix of a lot of things that you've done across the way, right?
It is a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
I haven't. I think most of my good stuff are still half motion graphics or motion design. So that's kind of how my profession is as well. I do like half motion design jobs and half compositing jobs. And that's, I guess, a question for you. Like if you would split them up into two different showreels eventually, or like keep them just as one.
Yeah, so I really strongly believe if you're applying to a job, like it depends on the job that you're applying, of course, but if you're applying for a compositing job on a company, you would never have motion graphic stuff on it, because that is going to actually dissuade the recruitment out of the showreel. What everyone needs to realize is that when recruitment, a lot of companies don't have artists watching the showreels that you apply. A lot of times there's like a first barrier, which is the recruitment department, and they are not artists. They're just people that have been told by artists what to find. And so the problem is that because they're not artists, they don't work on the industry, so they can't really judge the showreel very well. They're just going to be looking for things. If they're going to look for a compositing showreel, they're going to be looking for a showreel that has rotoscoping, has keying, has some cleanup, and has some footage in it. And so as soon as they see so much motion graphics, most likely the recruiter will just switch off your showreel and move to the next one. That is if you're applying for a compositing job. Now, I would say that there are 3 types of jobs that you can apply with the work that you have here. You can apply as a composer, that's one thing, but it would be most likely for a commercial company, not for a film company. It would be mostly for that. Then you can also apply for motion graphic design, and that's of course different. Then this showreel would apply exactly as it is. And then the third thing that you can apply to is a generalist showreel, which is something a bit more generic. You can apply to work on any company that requires to have an artist that works in a lot of things. Maybe an artist works in DaVinci and in Nuke and in After Effects. It does a bit of everything. Again, most likely that's a position on an agency or on a commercial place. So keep that in mind. So if you want to work in a company, always check the requirements for their job offer, and then just make an edit or a showreel specific for that job. I would recommend you to do that. I'll give you, for example, this shot that you have here with the 3D printer. It is not the best shot of your showreel for sure. Like I feel like the texturing work and the lighting work and the quality of the CG is not as good as the other shots we just saw before. So this shot here, if it was for a compositing showreel or if it was for a generalist showreel, it would probably be a problem to have it here. I probably would remove it to be applying for those positions. But if you're applying for just a motion graphic position, then maybe leave it. So I guess different roles will have different necessities, and you just need to make sure you don't have shots that would confuse the recruitment department, if they're watching it,
Yeah. No, solid tips. That's definitely something I've been, pondering about back and forth.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Cool. Well, let's move on then. So then you have this shot here, which is a bunch of motion graphics with the wall and the target. Like I can see all these cards. This looks great. I'm guessing this is all After Effects and it's all work that you've done there, right? Like it's looking really good for motion graphics. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's funny. We got a follow-up on this project from the same client that I think I could add that in to the next showreel. But then I did all this in Nuke actually. So it's fun doing it in After Effects. It's different scenes, but same concept.
But it's not this one that we're watching, right? This one is the one you did in After Effects, and then you've done a new project.
No, this is unfortunately just After Effects.
Yeah, of course.
But it was fun trying, putting just 2D cards and playing with the toon shader in Nuke. It worked really well, actually.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this is that a lot of people don't realize that a lot of times companies, will not be very obsessed with which software you use. You could go to a company and actually because a lot of companies use everything. You go to a commercial company and they will have everything. They'll have Nuke, they'll have FX, they'll have Cinema 4D, they'll have Arnold, they'll have everything there. And they don't really, as long as they don't have a really strict pipeline. If it's a film company, of course, it's a bit different conversation. But if it's a commercials place, there's nothing wrong with having After Effects mixed with Nuke and mixed with everything on the showreel. It doesn't matter as long as the shots look great. Because at the end of the day, that's the objective is for the shots to look good. So
exactly.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving on then we have some very typical motion graphics stuff that you have here for the titles. They look also really good. And then you move on to some projection work. So tell us a little bit about this, the projection work that you have here.
Yeah, so this is also with the same company, Smash, and we do a lot of projections outdoors.
Yeah.
Or indoors. It could be for anything basically, festivals, museums, and then we this we did in After Effects actually, but we've done previous work in Nuke as well, where I've gotten CG passes and then just composite it together and added a lot of effects to it, just because it's so nice to play around with projections, because you're allowed to do a lot of funky stuff. Usually,
of course.
And it.
And is this like gone now? Was it like a one thing that was only shown for a temporary time and now it's gone?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This was for Raoul Wallenberg, and it was on the Jewish synagogue in Stockholm.
Cool.
It's like a massive building. Yeah, but I think they will probably show it again. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, of course. And so
yeah.
was this like really high resolution, or was it like what, 4K HD? What was going on here?
It was, if I remember correctly, it was 4K the whole project, just because of of the the wall they had to cover on the building.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's fun. I have my idea with combine motion graphics and compositing. It's also also a question for you, if you see a potential market for it, is to target myself to a bit smaller agencies that haven't really implemented the compositing part fully into their workflow, and they, as they're kind of at the stage where they're like, oh, it's compositing, let's just throw it together in After Effects and get it done. They're like mainly 3D or 2D artists, and that's kind of where I'm aiming to slot in, to bridge the gap from motion and to compositing. And maybe just me or one other person.
I guess that's a really good point, because that happens a lot in agencies. I've even had that on my career as well. Small studios and agencies and commercial houses that are actually not really doing the full thing in compositing yet, because they either have never really had an artist on in-house that would do that or know how to do it, or they never really ventured into it because maybe they were a bit afraid of all the complications of compositing brings. Like you have the complication of color space and the footage and all of that, all those things that come in that normally a studio that is only doing motion graphics doesn't really care about, and they usually don't have the in-house know-how or knowledge to do something like that. But I mean, looking at your showreel, when I look at your showreel, I'm just going to scrub real quick here. There's not a lot of compositing on your showreel, except when you have like some of these CG shots that we're going to go in with the farm, and then you have also some of the CG kind of apocalyptic stuff that you have here at the end with the smoke and the explosions. So definitely for compositing's sake, and in fact I'm gonna just leave it playing for people to watch it. For compositing's sake, I do think if you're considering to become a compositor, you do need to like try to have on your showreel some more keying, some more rotoscoping, and stuff that would relate more to compositing itself, like pure compositing, which is just like comping footage together, putting plates together, some of them in green screen, some of them in CG, and just merge them together. A bit like some of these shots that you have more to the end of your showreel. So I guess that would be my advice to you. If you have enough shots, maybe do a compositing showreel, because some of these shots, if we go really quickly here. So the first shot here, for example, if we look at it, this is a nice enough shot to have on a compositing showreel because it showcases some knowledge of 3D and AOV compositing and cryptomatte compositing, and it looks nice. So I definitely think this would fit into a compositing showreel. I think then the statues here also fit in quite nicely because they have a nice atmosphere, they have some nice lighting, and they look nice. I think that could also work. I don't think this one, the small logo here, would work. I don't believe that would work for a compositing showreel. I also don't think that this web interface that you have here with a smash print would also work, so I would not have this on my showreel for compositing. Then as you move forward on your showreel, I would definitely skip this this image with the table and the lamps. This is pure motion graphics. I don't believe that it fits into a compositing showreel. Then I would continue. None of this would work for compositing. None of these graphics. The projection also would not be a compositing showreel as well, except if you would show the actual full graphic, full screen, and not just the projection. Some of these idents that you have here, they look nice, but they're not really compositing work. They're more like graphic work. They look really nice. And again, they fit in right well on a motion graphic showreel, but I don't believe they would fit into a compositing showreel. None of these shots here also would work that way as well. Now, this one is a pure compositing showreel. You have like a full CG shot with the mud and the farm. It looks rather nice. It doesn't really, like, you have all the passes here. You have the nice atmosphere. If I would say, I still think it doesn't look completely photoreal, but it's very close. It's very, very close. And I think the reason it doesn't look completely photoreal is mainly because it looks a little bit too clean. And I know you have mud there, but I'm talking about, in terms of clean, I'm talking about the image itself. I feel like I would definitely bring in some lens distortion into the shot. I would bring in some vignetting. I would bring in some lens vignetting as well. I would bring in some subtle chromatic aberration, some subtle glow, some subtle bloom and glare effects from all that light that you have on the ceiling, on the sky here. All this light would bloom to the bottom. You probably would even get, if this was shot with a camera for real, you would get some artifacts on your lenses, not a lens flare, but at least a bloom effect on your lens, you know. So those things are missing, and also some nice light wrapping coming from this sky into the elements. But like I said, this is almost there. I would say that this is like 90% there, and there's like a 10% extra that you can put into the shot to make it look even cooler. But it looks really nice. But definitely this shot is a composting shot. This shot here with the cow, it is nice, but I think you are being, unfortunately, the CG itself is not very good. Like, I mean, in terms of lighting, shading, and texturing, it looks CG. It doesn't look very photoreal. So unfortunately, that is going to bring down your shot because of the lack of realism. And unfortunately, I don't believe that that's anything you can fix. I think that comes from the texture work, the shading work, and the animation work from the cows themselves. But it definitely is a good shot to leave as a composting showreel shot. Then the car as well here with the Jeep and the boots. All those shots are good shots for composting. The shots here with the girls on the forest also are good shots for composting. Then you have some footage, which is always very good. Then I would skip this display shot here that you have for Channel 4. I don't believe this fits into a composting showreel. And none of this fits in. And none of this fits in from Beck. I don't think so. Like, I think it's from Beck. I would assume that that's from Beck. But then all of this here, I would also like not put it in on a showreel because again, it looks very pretty for motion graphics, but it doesn't really fit into a composting showreel. These shots here are lovely. The ones with the spheres and the planets, they are very beautiful. So I definitely think that they would fit into composting. Nice. And yeah, well, you were gonna say something? Sorry.
Yeah, maybe I should. Do you think I should do like a breakdown for these shots?
Yeah, they look great. Yeah, I definitely think so. They especially this one with the sphere. That's a really lovely shot that you've done here. So I definitely think so that you could put in. Then you have the hands. I mean, I would skip the title. This title doesn't need to be here. And then last but not least, we have this. Now this one is a nice shot to have in composting, but you have a few problems here that come from the quality of that smoke and the quality of that simulation. So the simulation is very fluffy, you know, like it almost looks like milk underwater, almost looks like underwater liquid, and that's not really helping to sell the realism of that spaceship flying around. I think that's the thing. And also, if this person would be so close to that thing, she would be covered by dust. You would actually have a dust wall coming through camera and dirtying the lens as well because she's way too close to this thing, you know. So I think this shot, as much as I think it's a cool shot, it lacks some of the composting quality that you have on other shots. And so that's it really. If you look at your showreel, I would say that it's almost like half. You know, half of it could be on a composting showreel, the other half could be a motion graphic showreel. So I guess you have to pick. You have to choose what are you selling yourself as, and which company you're sending it to. Because at the moment, your showreel right now, as it stands, it's nice, you know, Robin, but it's a little bit schizophrenic because it has so many things. You know, it has titles and motion graphics and CG, and it has composting. It's a bit hard. except if you can find a company that does about everything, it will be difficult to sell yourself, except if you're really going for a company that does a little bit of everything. That's the thing. So it's really a matter of, I guess my question to you is, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? I guess that's what I would ask you,
Yeah, so I think one of my main problem is maybe, as you mentioned in the end, that I want to do a bit of everything. I've been doing this for quite some time, motion design at least, and now discovering compositing, and I'm like, I want to do this as well. And I've been trying to find this bridge between motion design and 3D. But it seems, so far, the hard problem is, convincing, almost that I need to convince a company that, like, you need this spot. Like, I could add, so much more to your pipeline, and it could add so much value to your products. But it really requires some convincing. So I think that's why my showreel is a bit of like a Frankenstein's monster.
I think your showreel is good. I just feel like you have to be careful with the master of none situation.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Because you end up like doing a bit of everything, but then you lack the high quality assets for them to have you on a showreel. I've seen this happen to a lot of people on the industry, even to myself when I started. You end up with a lot of cool stuff, but none of it is really, really amazing to try to land that job. But again, Robin, it really has to do with what you want. Like, if you want to pursue a career as a full compositor, then you need to like do new shots. But if you just want to do a bit of everything, then what I would advise you to do, if you want to be a master of a lot of things and become a generalist, really, which is what you're trying to do here, I would advise you to try to do less shots, but have some of them look better. That's what I would say. Go deeper on some of them, have less of them, so that you can build a really good title screen, and then build a really good CG shot, and then build a really good motion graphic stylized shot, and build a really good, so you don't repeat shots on your showreel. Because, for example, when you look at these two on the beginning, they look great. That's fine. But then, for example, you have too many shots on your showreel of these projections, and you have too many shots of these cuts from TV shows, and you have too many shots of these idents from TV channels. You don't need so many. You can just pick the best one. You don't need to have all of them. You can have less of them.
Down.
Yeah, trim it down and focus on getting, like, for example, for the cow and the little lamb, definitely the wide shot is better than the close-up, because the close-up looks very bad in terms of shader, and not bad. I don't want to sound negative. This doesn't look bad. It's just that it doesn't look good enough for landing you a compositing job, because the shader in the 3D is going to let you down. But when you look at the wide shot, you can get away with it. It looks better. It looks okay. Still doesn't look photoreal, but it looks better than that close-up. So try to trim out anything that doesn't look as good, and just keep only the best. Only keep the best. Best work on your showreel.
It's a good tip. I will definitely do that. I think that also makes a lot of sense. Even if I want to be like a bit more of a generalist.
Yeah.
Like, someone looking at this will see, boom, boom, boom. Okay. There's they probably don't watch 3 repeated shot. They probably shut down the showreel.
No, they don't. And that's usually a major problem on the industry, because a lot of people, I'm gonna just stop sharing, because we don't need to share anymore. Now we're just chatting. But a lot of people on the industry don't realize that less is more, really. A lot of companies, both recruiters and also supervisors, when they're looking for work for artists, they will, 10 out of 10, they will they will always prefer a 30-second really strong showreel than a 2-minute bloated showreel. So they will always prefer perfection and really good shots, and shots that are really good, even if you only have 3 or 4 of them. It's the same what I just said to Farhad when he was showing his showreel on the beginning. There's no point for Farhad to still have that personal shot at the end. Even if it looks okay, it's not as good as the rest. So if it's not as good as the rest, bye. Go away, leave it. All of it has to be great. All of it. And so if you have anything that looks, this looks okay, then take it out. Or you either do that, or you either have several showreels. That's the thing, where you have a specific. You can, with your work, I think you should build a motion graphic showreel. You should build a compositing showreel, and those are really the two showreels that you should build with just the best shots. Yeah. And then if you want to have a generalist showreel, you can also do a showreel where you merge both worlds, but also only pick the best. So try to make these 3 showreels with fewer shots, pick the best you have, and just try to make sure they're labeled. So one is called a motion graphic showreel, the other one is called a compositing showreel, and the other one is called a general showreel. And then depending on the company that you're applying to, you send the specific showreel to them. And if they get back to you and ask for an interview, you could always send them the other reel as well and say, by the way, I also do motion graphics. Maybe check out this reel as well, because then you just improve your chances of staying in the company. Because if they have a downturn, this happens a lot. Like if a company has a downturn and needs to fire a bunch of compositors, if you have other skill sets, they might keep you because you can move to another department. So there's that side of things as well.
No, I think it's a good tip. I've been already going into this. I had some thoughts of this might be too much clumped into one, and I definitely got the answer for it. I think it's really good to spread them out, and then and be a bit more custom when I contact companies.
And one thing I would say, and I would add to what Gianfranco on the chat here said, because he's saying, studios like ILM and Veta do have generalists, but they mainly do environments and self-contained shots. So here's one thing I would add to what Gianfranco said. I don't believe, and don't get me wrong, Robin, but I don't believe your showreel is a showreel that would appeal to a film company at this stage. And I think if you want to try to, even if you want to become a generalist on a film company, I think you need to work on your shots to be better, so that your CG shots, compositing shots are higher quality. Because the problem right now is that there's a lot of competition, and I think your showreel is not to the standard of some of the showreels that they would get. So when I'm saying that you could apply as a generalist, I'm not talking about film. I'm talking about commercials. I'm not talking about film.
I'm aiming more to commercials, agencies.
Because film is different. Film is another world, and it's the standards are much higher. Everything has to be much, much more perfect, because it's on the cinema. It's really big, the cinema. So that's why we zoom in 400% and check all the pixels and check all the edges, because the screens are so big that anything would be visible on those big screens, So that's why the standard of quality is so much higher on a film company. So keep that in mind. But I think your showreel is great. So good work, man. I hope you don't. I hope you don't. I didn't get you down on your on the showreel.
No, not at all. I was I was going in to have it torn apart, and I think you were quite nice to me, actually. So no, I think it's just good. I think all criticism is good. Cool. You could always take something from it, for sure.
Cool. Excellent. I hope you've enjoyed it, I wish you best of luck, and I hope you get a job real soon and more work, and you're very talented, so just keep going and try to think about some of the stuff we talked about, and just aim to have the best shots on your showreel, and just continue as you are, because you do have some shots that look really good, so just keep going. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure to get on here and have a chat.
Of course. Well, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all later then. See you later, man. Bye.
Definitely. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay, so that was Robin. Thank you so much for joining the stream. That was lovely to see. It's also really nice to see something different, to see like a motion graphic showreel and seeing different types of work, because I think sometimes we have so much compositing on these showreel reviews. I'm always so happy when I have different stuff, and I'm so happy when I have motion graphics or even maybe 3D. So if and actually that reminds me, I forgot to mention this I should have said this on the very beginning of the showreel review. One advice I would give to everyone that sends the showreels to the show, I get showreels all the time. I get a lot of showreels to be reviewed, but please make sure you contact me, because I've gotten, like for example, for this session, I got 10 showreels from 10 different people. And I only managed to find 3 of the 10 people on Discord and on social media, because some of the showreels that people applied to didn't have an email, didn't have contacts. No one emailed me, no one contacted me, no one confirmed that they're going to be here. So it becomes really difficult. So when you apply a showreel to this stream, make sure you contact me so I know that you've sent the showreel, and so that I have a way of talking to you. For example, I have a showreel that someone sent, which was a nice showreel, but it had no email, no name. How am I going to find out who that person is if it has nothing named anywhere? So be sure to not only upload the showreel, and the link you can find it on the chat below. Basically, you can find the link to drop the showreel on the description of this video, and on all the streams that I do. There's always a Dropbox link there. But make sure you contact me. So, because I always have to confirm that the person is going to be here, because I always do call-in shows. Everyone that applies a showreel to this show, they call in so that we can talk on Zoom. I never review a showreel without the person here, because I want to hear them out. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to give them feedback directly. So keep that in mind for next showreel, because we had this problem before. Every month I always have this issue. And also keep in mind that if you're a student of mine, if you're one of my students of my new course, you will always get prioritized. So any student of mine that needs to have a review, they will always jump the queue by everyone, because I always prioritize my students over everyone else. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I've talked for a long time. We're gonna do another break. I'm just going to share again the giveaway. Don't forget that by the end of the stream, we're going to go for the last showreel review now. You have the link there on the chat if you want to win one of my Nuke courses. I'm going to do the giveaway at the end of the stream. And also don't forget that we are promoting the hell out of our sponsor. So as you know, BenQ is holding a great contest where you can win a monitor and you can win some cash as well. So there's the link on the chat there as well. It's part of their Viva Magenta year with Pantone, with the collaboration with Pantone. You can do a character for that competition and then win a monitor and also win some cash. So feel free to join that link and check all the things. I'm one of the judges, and so I hope you can join, and I can't wait to see some of the art that you produce and the art that you can send over. Don't forget that on the rules and regulations of that contest, you cannot send AI-generated art. It has to be original art. It cannot be AI-generated, so keep that in mind. Anyway, we're going to do another break now before we come back with the last showreel review and also the giveaway. So thank you so much for sticking around, and you're all very kind. And if you have some questions, also maybe leave them for the end of the stream. I'm happy to answer some of them. I've been trying to catch up with the chat here and there, but if you have some questions, maybe post them now on the chat, and then when I come back from the break, I can answer them right away. So if you have some quick questions, post them now on the chat. So as always, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. I'm going to leave a timer, so I hope you can do the responsible thing by stretching your legs, getting some water, and getting away from the desk for a few minutes. I'll see you all very soon. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're gonna now join in to the last showreel review of the day, and then we're gonna do the giveaway at the end. So yeah, I guess that's it. Again, don't forget that this stream is only happening because of BenQ. Thank you so much, BenQ, for all the support and all the love and support that they give us to our stream, and they make this stream possible. Also, don't forget that we're gonna do a giveaway at the end of the stream. I've been posting the link of the giveaway a few times on the chat, so if you want, you can always go there and get it. I've been posting 2 links on the chat for the last few hours, both for the giveaway if you want to earn my new course, but also if you want to join the BenQ contest where you can earn a monitor and some money. I've been posting those links if you want to. So I did ask if anyone had any questions before we continue the show, but I guess don't have any questions here. So let's see here if I miss any questions here. I don't think so. Don't see any main questions, but yeah, maybe if anyone has questions, maybe leave them for the end of the show or something, I guess. But that's it, it's up to you if you have any questions. So we're going to do the last showreel review of the day. And remember, we do this every month, so you can always come back next month if you have a showreel. We're going to be doing... so I'm going to send them the link. Just give me a second. So, and then we can continue the showreel review. So I'm going to just join in and start the thing here. Okay, so I am here already, so let's see if they show up, and then we can start the third and final review. Let's see here. Okay, so there's one thing though on the questions here on the chat. IDK Man is asking, can we still confirm coming on? I think the showreel might be mine. So, IDK Man, you did not message me or privately or on the Discord, so I can't do your showreel anymore because I've only lined up 3. As I mentioned before, I always need to get confirmation, and I say this all the time on whenever I do these showreels. If you want to be part of the show, you need to message me as well, so that I can confirm that you're going to be here. So unfortunately, IDK Man, it's too late for me to do your showreel because you didn't contacted me before the stream, so apologies for that. I am so sorry if you are disappointed by that, but it's always best for contacting me on social media to make sure that you're going to be present on the showreel, and so that I can confirm and talk with you first, So I do apologize if you are disappointed about that. Okay, so I guess I already have Keshav here. I think that's how I pronounce your name. I hope so. Do you want to join in? I still can't hear you, but maybe you can join in with your mic.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. So tell me something. Are you going to be joining with webcam or just audio?
Yeah, just
Okay, cool. Excellent. So I'm gonna just share for everyone to see as well. So let's just give me a second. Okay, great. So hello, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm really nervous about the showreel review,
Oh, don't be
And-
nervous. Don't be nervous. It's gonna be fine. We only do constructive feedback here. No one is gonna be no one is gonna say anything bad about the showreel. So don't be nervous. Relax. You can relax. It's not a problem at all. But thank you so much
Thanks.
for coming. Thank you so much for coming for the showreel review, and much appreciated for you to sharing the showreel with everyone and actually joining in the show.
Yeah, thank you for the review, actually.
Not a problem, of
Thank you.
course. I'm very, very glad that you joined. Why don't we start as we always do? Why don't you, only if you want to, of course, but if you want to, do you want to introduce yourself and tell people what you do and what you've been up to? Yeah, and tell us where you're from, where you're calling.
Yeah, I'm Keshav. I'm calling from Sydney, India. You heard this place on like Jungle Book.
Yeah.
That's where the Mowgli's from. Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm really into movies since childhood, so VFX was a very compelling field for me to join, and a lot of less industry around locally around here. So trying to get it copied.
Cool. And so, are you working already, or are you still looking for work?
I'm looking forward.
Okay. And how's that going? Like, have you sent your showreel around to some companies? How's that going? The job hunt.
I have not sent around the showreel recently. I took a break, little bit break from Nuke and started again for like 3 months around.
Okay.
And yeah,
Cool. And what is the prospects? Are you gonna be sending the showreel soon? How do you feel about that?
yeah, I'm gonna be sending showreel soon and trying to prepare all the resume and stuff
Okay.
for the application.
Well, feel free to contact me if you want in Discord, if you want any help with that, or if you need any guidance or any help. You're one of my students, so I'm very, very happy that you're my student, and thank you so much for joining the course. But if you need any guidance on that, you can either contact me privately on Discord, or you can always also on the Discord itself. There's a bunch of people that are really, really very helpful. We have a really nice community there, and everyone
Yeah.
always gives a lot of guidance and a lot of tips and tricks and everything. So feel free to do that. I'm gonna really quickly share my screen so that you can see the showreel, but I also want everyone to see it as well. So I'm just gonna just give me a second so that I can share my screen here, and so that everyone can see your showreel at the same time, and also I can play it back. I'm gonna loop it and take away the sound. So you see my screen? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So now everyone should be seeing your showreel as well. So it's looping right now. So before we go in through all the shots that you have here, so this showreel is mostly there. Like all of this is just from courses and online footage that you have gathered over the years, right?
Yeah. Mostly from your course, actually.
Cool. Excellent. So let's dive in real quick. So starting off, I can see that your showreel is rather short at the moment. You only have 25 seconds. So it's a little bit too short. Are you planning to add more shots into it? What's your plan right now?
I didn't add any breakdowns of the shots currently. So these are all work in progress shots. So I just sent it for the review.
Okay,
Right.
cool. Excellent. Well, feel free to send over once you have a final showreel. We can review it again. It's not a problem. As you saw on my show, a lot of people come back and bring their showreels again and to have more feedback or to showcase some of the extra things that they've added to the showreel because of the review. So feel free to do that. Okay, cool. So you have some really good work here. So I can see that first shot here with the train, which is the shot that we have on our online course. Yes. So I think you did a good job with the compositing. The thing that comes to mind right away when I see it, the first time I ever looked at it, is that I do think that you need to work a little bit on matching better the grain between the CG and between the plate. At this moment, you can kind of see that it's rather noisy, the plate. We have a lot of noise happening on his jacket, a lot of noise happening on the hat, and there's not a lot of noise happening on the actual CG. And I think there's two choices here for you. Either you denoise the footage and clean the whole thing and then add a final grain on top of everything for you to just give it a bit more of a film look by adding grain. Or the other option could be that you could try to match this grain that is already in the plate into the CG. You can do either of the two, but that would help to merge and to massage the CG into the footage, into place, you know? That would be my advice to you, but it's looking quite cool. Now, in terms of rotoscoping and keying and everything, don't really see any problems. I can kind of see that you've done a good job. The entire shot is not here, so I see that you still have a. Are you still working on the rest of the shot, or have you chose to do a shorter version?
I actually trim it down, the shot. I trimmed it down
Okay,
a
cool.
little bit.
Cool. If anything, the only thing that I can kind of notice is that maybe you can finesse a little bit more the edge of the back of the head and the ear together with the shoulder and the jacket. I feel that there's like a slight sharpen edge there that might be massaged with an edge blur or a little bit of a blur on the alpha, because you have a really nice fall off and blur happening on the shoulder, on the side, on the left side of his shoulder, but it's not the same on the head and on the ear. I think you could produce maybe a bit of softer mask there. It would probably look better if you do that. Apart from that, I think you did a really good job with the reflection. I think you did a really good job with putting in the background plate there. Yeah, so I think those are the only two things that I think that you can improve, is that edge and then also the grain. Try to match the grain. My advice actually would be to remove the grain from the plate and add one single type of grain to the whole thing. That would be my advice to you, because the noise of this plate is quite harsh and it doesn't look very nice. So the noise of the plate itself, because we were using a pretty bad camera at the time, so I think that's why it's so noisy, you know. So cool. So that's that shot. And then this one here from D-Love, which is a shot from my course as well. So I think you did a great job. I mean, it looks really good. Like I don't really see many problems on the shot. I think you did a good job with the cleanup. Of course, people that are not aware of, because you're going to put a breakdown later on, there's a bunch of green sticks everywhere, and there's like some people with green suits behind these puppets. So that's why we had. I know it looks simple enough when you look at it right now, but it's not simple at all. It's quite difficult, this shot. But yeah, I think you did a great job. I don't really see any problems. Are you still working on it, or because obviously, when I'm viewing it through here, through the stream and through like an encoded version, it's always hard to judge every single edge. But are you still working on it, or have you finished the shot?
I'm just about finished on the shot. Around the legs of the dealer character, just some roto and shadow thing.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Really good. It's really nice. And then after that, we have this shot here. So this shot here, again, the same kind of thing. It's really noisy at the moment, so which kind of leads me to believe that, have you checked if the noise on this plate is actually in the plate, or have you read the footage in the wrong color space maybe? I'm just asking this because it looks to me like the shot is a bit washed out. It looks to me like it's a bit too gray and not black enough, and I think that's why we see so much of the noise. Maybe go back and check that, because it is not normal that we see so much noise under the table. It kind of looks to me like maybe the color space is not correct on this shot. So maybe see if you've imported the shot correctly. I can't remember top of my head now, but I would assume that this shot would be linear, the plate, and then the viewer would be in Rec. 09. But I might be wrong. Maybe contact me later on Discord and we can go through it if you want to. But that's kind of the first thing that I saw right away when I saw it, you know. And so, how's this shot going? Have you finished it, or are you still working on it?
Just around the roto on the guy's hair. It's not finished currently.
Okay, cool.
So just different footage from different plates are merged together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I saw that you've done a rather good job with the reflection and the shadow of him on the table as well. Yeah, I can see what you mean about the roto. It's still kind of missing a little bit there. It's like, especially you have some wobbly roto on the hand as well here, on the hand of the dude here as well, that you need to kind of finesse. and there's like some a bit like too much sharpness going on in here on his forehead as well, which you kind of need to like massage a bit more, and you have a bit of a wobble there as well. But it's starting to look really good. Like, I think you did a good job, and it's really really coming together, you know, which I think it's really nice. And then this shot here, how's this shot going? I mean, I can kind of see that there's still some keying and roto happening on the hand here, still missing. You can kind of see still the green. Yeah, because I've, as we mentioned in the beginning, for everyone watching, like, this is not finished. None of these shots are finally completely finished, so that's why we are going through them now. But is that what's missing still? Like some of the roto here on the hands? What's still missing on your shot?
Just the keying and the edges are not finished currently,
Okay.
and the roto of guy's leg
Okay,
is
cool.
not finished.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Cool. Great. Sounds good to me. Like, it's starting to really come together as well. And those edges are a matter of you just finessing the key and just try to, like, you know, watch the classes again and try to, like, just, if you have questions, ask me or ask Ricardo on the Discord, you know, and we can kind of like go through some stuff if you need to. But it's looking really good. It's really looking really nice. Okay, so then after that, there's a shot here which is not from my course. This is from the Tears of what? I can't remember the name of it. It's Tears of something.
Tears of Steel.
Yeah, Tears of Steel, exactly. So how's this shot going? Like, what else are you still working on?
So I'm not sure about the background still.
Yeah.
Still figuring out the background for the plate.
Yeah.
And so far, I've landed on this.
Yeah.
And the keying is not perfect right now, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think this background is not really working yet, especially the color and the type of matte painting. I kind of feel that, if anything, maybe try to consider having, because I know this is nighttime, but maybe consider having, you know, some clouds. You know, usually when we are at nighttime, if you have clouds, some of them pick up a bit of lighting from the city. It would be nice to have some kind of sky with clouds here, or if the sky is here, at least see something in the sky, and it should be like a darker tone, a blacker tone than so much green. And then also the city landscape, whatever city landscape you pick up, try to get some nice bokeh happening, because at the moment your bokeh effects and your depth of field is very subtle. It's not pinging. It's not really having the strength that it has to be. When you look at bokeh effects, they are much stronger and they have much more luminance. So keep that in mind when you're looking into this. And then, of course, yeah, like you said, the edges. You have some black edges going on here on these pillars. The gun itself looks pretty good. Like I like how your edge is falling out here, and that's really nice. But there's some problems on the hole here, and of course, like there's a few things missing on the head. There's like a few things missing on the back of his head as well here, and you know, generally, again, the same kind of issue you have with the other plates. It also seems to me like the color space might be wrong, or maybe it's too bright, the plate, because I can see a lot of grain on it, and I think it's very lifted, the plate. So maybe you need to look into how you're bringing in these plates and how are they being processed before you do compositing, you know, because it kind of looks to me like they might be on the wrong color space. Maybe have a look at that. In the meantime, going into the last shot here. Now, this shot here, for me personally, I think is the one that is less accomplished on your entire showreel. And the main reason for that is really not just the fact that the key is not final yet, but I think you should pick another type of background. You need to start considering having a background that would have the same lighting direction. So she is quite dark, actually, and she is getting a light from the front hitting her head. You need to maybe consider a background that is a bit darker, a bit more moody, maybe something close to nighttime that has some kind of light from the front. I think that would help a lot to sell this shot, because I think your background is way too bright. You just need to like, I would advise you to pick something else, to pick another type of background. And then, of course, finesse the key, finesse the roto, and finesse everything else that you're still missing on the shot. But by far, this is the most incomplete of your shots, as I see it right now. Yeah. That's the one that needs more work right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, really. I guess, it's a really great starting point. Can't wait to see more breakdowns. So how are you feeling with this showreel now? Like, are you close to being finished? How are you feeling?
Yeah, some shots are close to being finished and some are not, as you can see. And still working on the backgrounds of some shots like this one and the girl shot.
Okay.
And still trying to figure out what to do for the backgrounds. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I must say, like, I don't think you should be nervous at all. I think you have some good work here. It has a lot of potential. I think you did really good so far. Just, hang in there, be strong, and just finish the showreel and put in the breakdowns and then start sending it to companies, because I think you have some good work here. And I'm definitely thinking that you probably would have a shot to get a job, like just keep strong and just make sure you add more breakdowns, and then maybe consider, if you can't get that last shot to work, consider doing some other shot, but it would be nice if you can get it to work, that last shot, of course. But I think that's it. So with that in mind, like, do you have any other things that you would like to discuss or ask or anything else?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. And so I guess my final question would be, like, are you considering where are you thinking of working? Like, have you considered that? Like, are you going to be local, or are you considering moving to another country? Or are you considering sending it to other places? Like, what's your plan right now?
So the jobs I saw right now are mainly on site,
Okay.
and they're mostly on the big cities in India.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about doing the on-site jobs, as remote jobs are very rare right now.
Okay, I see.
And yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Well, are you still very nervous, or are you feeling better now?
No. Yeah.
Good. Don't be nervous, And as I said on the beginning, like, feel free to reach out on Discord. You already have been contacting me because of this showreel. If you need any kind of more advices, or if you want some help with your CV or with everything that you're trying to accomplish now, or if you want me to have a look at your showreel again once it's more finished, feel free to contact. I'm always here. I'm always on Discord. I'm here for my students. So if you need any help, just don't be shy. You can bother me anytime. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Well, it was lovely to meet you in person. Well, not in person, but like viewing you through a camera. It was lovely to meet you, and thank you so much for sharing your showreel with us. And I hope you have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
No problem. See you later. Bye. Okay. That was the last session of the day. And thank you so much for sharing the showreel with us. And I guess that's it, really. Like, I think, can't believe we got to the end of it. That's great. Thank you so much for everyone that was here. We're going to now do the giveaway, as promised, the last giveaway of the day. And I'm going to just, if anyone still hasn't joined the giveaway, here's the link. I've just posted it on the chat again. So let's open up the giveaway and see what we have here to see who won the Nuke course. So we have a total of 32 people that joined the giveaway, which is great. Thank you so much for joining. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much also for spending some time with me here. Don't forget that we do these streams every month. And also very soon, I know I promised this before, but very soon we are going to actually have some compositing streams as well, because I know a lot of people are missing them. A lot of people have asked me about that in the chats, and I am returning with some Nuke compositing, and it's very exciting because I actually have some really cool CG compositing to show with the Sniper Elite 5 trailer that I directed. I have some really high quality CG on Redshift to show you some of the tricks that we had there. So we are definitely going to have some really nice compositing streams really soon. So with that in mind, let's wrap up the stream. While we're waiting for this, I'm gonna just like draw the potential winners here and see who won the Nuke course. Okay, so let's see here. I hope they are here. Remember, for you to win the Nuke course, you always have to be here. And remember, if you don't win the course now, remember that on this month's Before and Afters magazine, this is issue 11 for the Before and Afters. I'm sorry, there's so much reflections on this thing. The last issue of Before and Afters has a QR code, and this QR code can give you a 50% discount to my new course. So don't forget that. Support Before and Afters, because they have, like, Ian has an amazing magazine going on here. And for all the readers of the magazine, it's very, very, it's nice to give something to them because they've been supporting that magazine so much. Okay, so thanks for everyone that sent over. So let's see here. The winner of the Nuke course is, I'm gonna just put the name here. So as always, I hope you're here live on the chat. If you're not live on the chat, then I'll just do the giveaway again. So right now the winner that I have here is Maria Morello Esposito. So from Spain. So I have, let me just, the winner of the new course is Maria Morello Esposito. Are you here, Maria? I hope you're here. Hopefully you're here. And make sure you say hello to the chat if you're here. I'm going to give you a few minutes because I know that the chat is a bit delayed. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Maria to say something, oh, there we go. Maria's here. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. So, Maria, congratulations. You've won the Nuke course. So, congratulations. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't worry, I will contact you very soon. I'll contact you in the next 2 days with the login and all the credentials for you to log in to my course. And I hope you enjoyed the new course, and I hope to see you as one of my students, and hope you join us on Discord, and we can do this journey together of learning Nuke. Congratulations. It's really great that you joined the stream today, and I hope you've enjoyed that. So yeah, congratulations to Maria. That's it, really. We're done there for today. So don't forget that we are going to come back next month. So as I said before, if you want to share your showreel to be reviewed here, don't forget to not just upload the showreel to the link that is on the description, but you need to make sure you contact me, because I need to make sure I can confirm that you're going to be on the showreel review. Without the confirmation, you won't be on the reel, because I need to confirm, I need to send you the Zoom link, I need to do all those things so that we have people lined up for the showreel review. So, and again, I cannot thank enough BenQ for supporting this stream. Also, can't thank enough, and don't forget what I said, if you are considering buying a BenQ monitor, you can contact me. I have a 10% discount to give away for my followers as well. And I can't thank enough for everyone to be here. Thank you so much. It was lovely to chat with you. I apologize that at the stream, we didn't do a stream last month, but that was just because I was too busy with work. But we're going to continue next month. And as I said, I'm going to also come back with some Nuke composting as well soon. And yeah, that's it. I hope you all enjoy. Have a great day. I'll see you all later, and see you later. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day, and keep rocking and keep enjoying yourself. If anyone wants to chat, just you know where to find me.